Hello everybody, I'm here with a review for The Seeds, Part 1. This is a book from, where is this from? It looks like Dark Horse. Yeah, Dark Horse Comics. And this is a really interesting book. I have to say, I was incredibly surprised by the depth of this book and just some of the way it's written. It's very interesting. It's essentially a post-apocalyptic story, but it's a lot more than that. It's more of a journalism. Most of the story focuses around a journalist and her trying to kind of get a good story, to the truth of stuff. And it's a very character driven, soulful look into human nature and all this. But more than that, I really enjoy the narrative. Speaking of the book, it's hard to explain really. But the book has a really interesting way it's set up. It has like 3 or 4 separate storylines focusing on separate characters, and it transitions into each story very seamlessly, very nice. I love the transitions actually. They work very well. A lot of what character A is saying fits into character B's story in some little way that makes it feel more enjoyable by the time you finish the book. It was a really interesting, very interweaved story. The art style goes for this kind of black and white, but also with some shades of green and stuff. Kind of a digitalized coloring, a digitalized art style, kind of similar to what you used to see in the '90s with those computer digitalized comics, but on a better scale. I think it looks a lot better, and it fits the story of the book pretty well. The art looks very bleak. It looks very unsaturated, very grim, and I like it. I think it fits very well. There's a few character designs that were a little odd to me. That didn't really just looked kind of ugly, but overall it's a solid looking book. I think it fits what it's trying to tell very well. I went into this book knowing nothing about it, which I think is the best way to do it, because it's really hard to talk too much about this book without giving away some of the plot points of the actual story that are kind of surprising and actually make the story better. So I really don't want to get too much into the plot like I know a lot of reviewers would do, but just take my word for it. It's a really interesting, different kind of book, and if you want something that's a little different, that's a really interesting told story, try this one out. I think you'll like it. If you're anything like me, you'll like it. The book is a little hard to follow at first. The way the narrative is going and the way the characters are explaining things, it's not very clear, but it starts to make more sense as you go in. And the opening monologue actually makes sense a lot more once you get to like the back half of the book, which I appreciate. It's almost kind of like non-linear storytelling, but it's really not, because it is linear, but it's hard to explain. This book, that's how I sum up this book. It's hard to explain. It's interesting. And it deals with a lot of interesting themes, such as this giant wall that's separating the two parts of the book's world, where one part of the world is very connected to news and media and technology, and everybody's plugged into their phones, while the other side, no one really knows about the other side. They don't know what happens over there, but they think it's more primitive. Overall, I give this book a 4 out of 5. I think it was very interesting, very different. I really like the way it's all told, the story's told, so definitely check it out, and thank you guys for watching. As always, thank you.